What's approaching the supreme moment? Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead.
What's good? Thank God it's Friday. I just finished the grind for the Super Saiyan Vegeta Jr. who does get an EZA. This is pretty much the stats I went with. I did want to give him a little bit more on the critical side, but level 10 is the max you can get for critical hits for this unit. So it's going to be equally distributed between additional attack and criticals. I also did focus a little bit more on the type attack advantage and the super attack. So this unit does have defensive capabilities built into the stats itself, so I think overall that's a decent enough setup. And again, this is a free-to-play unit, so you could easily adjust the unit's potential levels based on the amount of drop cards that you have in reserve. So let's go ahead and cover this unit's stats, and we'll see how he does. First off, I'll just go ahead and say this unit's actually pretty good, and I'm very happy that the game is actually focusing a little bit more on better free-to-play units, providing a little bit more versatility and diversity of units available outside of the summonable banners. So it's definitely a good thing for the game and the player base itself. So again, this is the Ascended Saiyan Youth Super Saiyan Vegeta Jr. Again, this is an EZA unit that's currently open in JP, so you can get this guy to a max level of 140. After the Extreme Z Awaken at max, you're looking at Hybrid Saiyan's category key plus 3 HP attack and defense by 77% increase. Secondary leader skill is physical type key plus 2 HP attack and defense increase of 30%. Again, these are the stats and leader skills and skill sets based on the Extreme Z Awaken status. I'm not going to cover anything prior to that. The super attack is going to raise defense for 1 turn and cause supreme damage to enemy. Passive skill is an attack and defense increase of 60% at the start of the turn, plus an additional key plus 2 attack increase of 50% for 5 turns after receiving an attack. So pretty good overall passive package itself. So yeah, very decent unit overall. You're looking at links, Saiyan Lineage plus 1 key, Royal Lineage plus 1 key, Infighter is 10% to attack, enemies defense minus 10%, GTs plus 2 key, Super Saiyan 10% increase to attack, Golden Warriors plus 1 key, enemies defense minus 2000, and Shattering the Limit is plus 2 key. World Tournament Hybrid Saiyans and Vegeta's Lineage is the category applied for this unit. Again, at max level, potential system 100%. You're looking at HP of 10,000. Well, no, that's not correct. 12,942. Attack will be 12,725, and the defense is 7,970. 12 key multiplier is a little bit lower, 125%, but not too bad. This unit overall itself is I think, in my opinion, pretty good overall. Definitely, I wouldn't say easy to use. It's definitely versatile enough to where you could certainly apply this unit to a variety of team setups. Again, he does fall into both Vegeta's Lineage and Hybrid Saiyan. So, and in terms of link sets, you've got your Super Saiyan, Shattering the Limit, Golden Warrior, Saiyan Lineage, stuff of that nature. So he's going to link up pretty well with the rest of the Saiyan type units. So you're not really going to struggle in terms of making sure you have enough key to be able to super. I mean, it's definitely pretty good unit overall. Definitely very solid. So, and the biggest thing about this unit too is you can actually launch the super attack with at least 9 keys. So that'll definitely save some headaches, I guess. From what I saw, you don't even have to worry about that, honestly, because you pretty much get a full gauge of key if you do have other Vegeta units available. And having units like with link skills like GT will certainly help increase key as well, but as well as Shattering the Limit too. But overall, you're not going to run into any key links for the most part, even with the Hybrid Saiyan setup, let alone a Vegeta's Lineage team. Again, overall, output-wise, definitely pretty solid. You do have to get attack first in order to really maximize the passive skill itself. So again, for 5 turns, after receiving an attack, you get plus 2 key and attack increase of 50%, and you will see that difference apply when it does, because I think on average, without the secondary passive kicking in, you're looking at about 770,000 maybe in attack potential. versus more like 1.5 million based on the 50% secondary activating. So it does make a hell of a difference. So the good thing about it too is his defense is actually pretty good as well. So you can afford getting hit every now and then. Now, if you're in a situation where you're in a type disadvantage going up against a strength type, now you do have to be a little bit careful. But this guy got supered by Jiren, and you'll probably see this later. And he was still able to do okay. You know what I mean? So it wasn't too bad overall. So you could certainly go with a more focus on additional attack, since it is limited in the potential system for a max level of 10 with critical hits. So, you could go a little bit higher, maybe, I don't know, 13 or even 15 for additional attack and lower levels for crits. But I'm very biased when it comes to assignments of potential levels and potential skills. I tend to go more toward additional attack, not additional attack, but critical hits more so than I do with the additional attack. So that's kind of, it's all opinion based, preference based. So, you do what you want. I went with a flat equal distribution between additional attack and critical. So I guess keep that in mind when watching this video, and you can kind of make your own decision as to how you want to allocate the skill sets for. But overall, again, this unit is very solid. He's actually a decent enough, hybrid stands category lead. So, even though it is only 77%, for certain events, I'm thinking of Extreme Z Battle against, Broly, right? Where the hybrid stand category has the advantage. You could certainly use this guy as a lead and use an Ultimate Gohan lead as a friend or guest. And you could, possibly clear it that way too. I haven't tested it myself, so I don't know for sure, but I think it might be attainable. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Again, this guy does have the ability to raise defense as part of the super attack. Also a 60% increase to defense as part of the passive skill. So he does defend decent enough to where he's okay. And his attack is definitely pretty good as well. So I think for a free-to-play EZA unit, this is definitely a pretty good unit. And the best thing about this unit is the story event itself has its own potential orbs to where you can max this unit out at 100%. So it's essentially everything's free except for stamina and time, you know what I'm saying? So you might as well do it. And for global players, definitely keep this in mind, because it is going to be a pretty useful unit overall. Speaking of the Extreme Z Battle for the Vegeta Jr. unit itself, again, it's the typical format where you just have to clear the first 30 stages in order to get all the awakening medals to get this guy to max level of 140 and SA max of level 15. The advantage obviously is going to be Goku's lineage against this Vegeta Jr. So you don't necessarily have to go with a Goku lineage team. I think you could do, honestly, you could probably go with a super strength team and just include units that fall into Goku's lineage category. That's certainly an option for you. Now, of course, if you have the new LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the best way to go about it is get that maximum boost from the leader skill and include a couple of strength units that fall into that category, and then just go from there, because at some point you will lose the damage capability of other type units. So just keep that in mind. It's not overly difficult if you bring in the right units. So again, even for a free to play, I think it's more than manageable, I think, in my opinion. And if you do have issues kind of clearing through the stages, definitely hit me up on Twitter or Instagram, and I can certainly help build some teams for you, depending on what your deck looks like. All right, so this is, again, what I was talking about earlier. We're going up against Jiren, and he does have tight disadvantage. So unfortunately, the Dokkan mode kicked in, but regardless, let's see what kind of output he does have. Now, criticals will pretty much negate the process itself, and of course he gets it with about 1.5 million. And I don't know, I kind of missed the section where he was defending potentially. So You'll have to kind of take the video footage for itself in order to see that. But yeah, overall, again, the biggest thing is it is a free-to-play unit, does have an EZA. All the potential orbs are free. It's pretty easy overall to get this done. So, you know, definitely make sure to do that if you're a JP player. It's you know, it's not that long of a process to get done. So I would definitely recommend that anyone playing JP, go ahead and do that now. Get it over with, and that way you can enjoy playing whatever events, story events, grinding, whatever, you know, afterwards. So definitely pretty good. And I try to avoid, you know, the, you know, I did include a couple of support units here and there, but I did also want to provide segments where you didn't see supporting units in the same rotation. So I try to bring in as much of a mix as possible. So again, this is the showcase for the Extreme Z Awakened Super Saiyan Vegeta Jr. As always, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.